SimTheWorld here, and we are back with the demo of Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. I had a few things to finish up, and a few things I missed in the last episode. So I wanted to make mention, I was messing around with the player files, just taking a look and gander at the code, and I noticed a few things in there that threw me through a loop, and of course I missed it here. The test path features wheel alignment, light calibration, and suspension and brake inspection. So if we come inside here, I just looked at the test path and moved on. I didn't notice anything different here. But what there is here we have the wheel alignment that we can place, and we have the devices for each wheel. That's fantastic. It looks great. Along with the calibration tools and the headlamp alignment. Of course, none of this I was able to we can use. It was a little deceiving. As you can see on the code I popped up, there was a true and false statement there. I thought maybe what's the chances of changing that to a true statement and see if it unlocks, and of course the devs were one step ahead of us. With that said, we've got two cars that we have to work on. I think these are the cars that they allow us to kind of do what we want with. I was kind of hoping to unlock the welder, but that, of course, did not happen either. If you want to check it out, Carleezy Games does his full repair over at his... He did a live stream, and it's really fun and really interesting. So go check that out if you want to see this car done, of course. He did that, so we're not going to bother with it. We'll throw this outside somewhere. Oh. Ooh, okay. That threw me through a loop. I didn't think we'd come outside. But instead, we're going to focus on the Supra. So I'm going to take everything apart. Of course, I want to show you guys too. Let me do this now. So if you guys are wondering how to drain the fluids in all these items, you want to come over to the additional tools. Of course, these are our diagnostic tools. Of course, those are locked. But there is a new drain tool that we can use on... Should be able to use it on each one of these items. There it goes. It's a little deceiving. I wish it would kind of show us a visual of it draining, but you just have to listen to that sound right now. This engine looks so good. I'm so focused on the fluids right now, I'm missing the fact that this is a Supra engine. This is really, really looking nice. This is brand new for the game. And let's just dive in. We'll take this all apart. We're going to rebuild this so it looks good. And it's brand new. I want to start with the body components. We're going to try to salvage as much as we possibly can. Of course, money is no issue for us. We did go ahead and, in my hacker ways, we did get a few extra dollars to help us along the way. As you might see in Carleezy Games playthrough, he was not as fortunate. So maybe he'll go back and finish that up at some point. The interior, let's see. We got to remove these, see what we can repair and see what we can't. There was some... In the code, there was some interior parts mentioned, though I'm not sure what that relates to specifically. I did, for everything else, the headlight alignment tool was interesting. There was an oil bin. I'm not sure what that's going to refer to. But other than that, I didn't notice any other tools of interest. I didn't come in here last episode either. We got the warehouse. We can walk in this time. But let's go ahead and I want to mess around. I hope that these tools we can use different things on. Like this definitely, this is for straightening sheet metal, of course. This is for pounding out the dents. I hope there's some specified, parts that we use each one on and not just body parts on any of them. But you guys have seen this mini game done a million times, so I'll jump back when we got this taken care of. So we're back here at the car. I'm looking at the suspension, and honestly, it doesn't look that bad. So I think the overall quality condition is about 66%. That seems to be what's coming off the car. And anything lower, of course, we'll go ahead and fix. But I don't want to focus on the suspension, especially as the overall. Let's go over to the shop. We're going to pick up our parts. The main focus I want for this episode is really to be about the engine, since that's the new item in the game. That's what I want to tear down and look at. The suspension is all the same. This is nothing new here. Let's go ahead and get this rear end taken care of, and then we'll go ahead and take the drive shaft off, take the gearbox off, and we'll start digging into the engine itself. We do the... Not sure where that other tire came from. I don't think that goes with this car. Let's go take a look at the front end. As for the front end, we'll remove this tire. And we got our WD-04. Wonder which number that's for. Again, just the sway bar link end and sway bar. Brakes look fine. Okay, the brake, this brake pad looks bad. Pull this off too. And we'll need to drain the oil, but I'm just going to pull it. Doesn't look like there's really anything in there. Yeah, looks like... That looks like it's easy to tell different parts that are bad too. That bushing was no good. I'm going to finish this up and we'll come back in just a second. I wanted to show too the body parts. We can come over here and you can choose the car that you're buying it for, which is nice. You don't have to search anymore. Of course, we need the glass and headlights and tail lights, of course. That stuff we can't repair. Everything else I think we did repair to 100%. I had to lower the car in order to take the gearbox off. We need to take the starter off, which of course means we need to take the... or have the engine down. Lots of words there. Let's get the trunk in. I didn't bother replacing the interior parts. The interior looks fine. Just like the suspension we're going for. Good enough. It's kind of the theme of this build. We want it to run well, but it doesn't have to look 100%. Just like how Carleezy Games, he got his car started, but of course, I don't know how far down the road it actually would make it. Ooh, that looks nice. I can't wait until we get the welder. Like, this worn off paint, I want to get this into the paint shop now. Let's go ahead and get under the hood. And this is what we're really doing this video for. I want to tear everything out of the engine. We'll repair what we can. But I want to see all the new parts. Oh no, they left the clips in. I was really hoping they'd go ahead and give us latches for that. Not just having to dismantle 4 clips. Oh, that's horrendous. Still time to update though. That's my feedback. So we got our little fan here. Let's get this out of there. And of course we got the throttle up top. And even though this looks good, we do have a rusty bolt to get off. It looks like they do want you to take it a little bit apart. Some of the accessories are completely rusted out. We'll have to replace the pulleys and the belt. But what I'm interested in is just seeing how deep this engine goes, how much detail they put into this. So of course this is still a demo, but that's the whole point of this, right? If only we had tuning parts for this too. Oh, looks like the spark plugs are bad. We're gonna have to get this far anyhow. Incredible. You guys have to let me know what you guys are most excited for. I am actually a big fan of the mini games. I've seen some mixed opinions on different discussions, both on the store page and in Reddit. I know it can get a little tedious if you're doing this in quick succession, But the way I see it, I've never had a car that you're building that you're just rapid fire trying to push these out the door. Maybe if you're trying to grind up for some cash, but even then, the whole point of this, I think, is to sit back, relax, you know, work on a project. Don't necessarily have to finish it today. Buy all of these camshaft caps. We probably won't finish this today. But you can see it's just something relaxing. Finish a hard day, you got something fun to look forward to, and something you can be proud of. I'm excited, even if there's a little extra work that we have to do that makes it all the more realistic, even though this game really isn't. We will finish coming through. Let's get this crankshaft pulley on. If they're adding all the alignment tools and things like that, ooh, the water pump, you have to disassemble. Ooh, that's kind of new. Usually you can just pop that water pump right off. That's what I like to see, some of the detail in... Can you take the... Okay, that's the engine block. Some of the detail in how these parts are assembled, how they work together. That's what I want to see the game really evolve into. Like, really, I'd like to see something a little bit more with the timing components, maybe some way to adjust the timing. And that's where some of your mini games would really come into play. Trying to tweak what you got there. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Oh, there's one more cap. 20 billions of these things. I won't make you sit through putting it all together. This, of course, is just a teardown review. And we are back removing the head. We are almost through. I'm not going to take the engine block out. I don't think there's much need. We'll take a look at the pistons, but if we don't have to, we won't. That can sometimes be a bit tedious too. Pistons all look good in there. We're going to leave it as is. I will take off the starter just to kind of take a look here. But I think that's the whole disassembled engine. I'll take off the ECU type. Let's check out the fuse box. Maybe they have... Now this is what I'm interested in. Are there parts that are going to be missing? Like, is this a missing fuse, or is that just an empty fuse that we don't need? And this is where they're going to have to be a little more specific with us. So I'm going to take the gearbox off and fix the parts. We'll come back, get this fully assembled and running. All right, the last thing we have to do is put in all the fluids. Of course, you guys have seen this a couple times. That's okay. This is really what the new stuff is about. Checking out what's new to the game, what we might want to see, what might need to be altered just a little bit. I also realized this might have spawned in one of the mission cars again. I don't understand that. Okay, so I can't get a good look here. Maybe see it from the top there. There we go. Yeah, the fluids, the drain thing is my biggest takeaway. What we need to see something different. We need to see some sort of animation. Just like this. This is so cool. You know, we don't get to see the oil refill, but of course we get to see the coolant or the brake fluid or things like that. And you know exactly when to stop, when it doesn't need to be, you know, overfill it. Something with oil, I wish there was a better way of measuring. Because obviously you'd want to use the correct amount of oil and not just overflow it like I did. That didn't take much at all. Normally it takes a lot of oil. Let's go ahead and take care of the brake servo and we should be just about done. All that's left to do is take this outside and start her up. And now that we're outside, everything's completed. We redid the body, made that look good. The back's still on blocks. I don't know why that is. Maybe they don't want us to take it anywhere. trying to stop us from doing that. Let's jump in and see how the engine sounds. Oh, that's not good. Something's missing. Oh, I realized in my haste I forgot the fuel pump, or not the fuel pump, I'm sorry, the fuel rail. Thought I'd bring it up here, see if I could clean the car, but of course we cannot. But now what we've all been waiting for. There it goes. And that's starting, they need a little different, engine start there, but the revving sounds nice. Sort of. At least it sounds varied from what some of the other engines we've heard. The starting noises sound pretty generic, but the purring of the engine does sound a little bit different, so I'll give it to them there, but that is another one of the things everyone would like to see when the game comes out for a full release is, of course, better sounds. And with this, I think we're going to wrap up our coverage on the demo. I don't think there's anything left to take a look at. So, with that being said, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates of future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.